Go to page number 93. Lesson number 13. Communications for leaders and managers. Page 93. Tips for enhancing our preaching and reputation. So I have purposefully dropped out from taking the entire communications course, empathic listening and improving our temple's relationship with the neighborhood, Gohirama, and needs, interests and concerns, the language of communication. So I'm purposefully not taking those because they have been already covered. But just this one item is very crucial. Please read someone. Everything we do is communicating something. Number 13, page 93. Please read.
Everything we do is communicating something. Devotees sometimes think our preaching only begins when we hand someone a book, sit down to give a formal class in the temple, or begin the kirtan on Harinam. In reality, people are forming opinion of ISKCON devotees and thus being attracted or pushed away from Krishna even every time they see or interact with a devotee 24 hours a day.
Hare Krishna. One time one very big donor, he came. I had gone to his home for a program and he was a very good upcoming devotee as well. And we had left behind the bucket of prasadam. So he came with a sugar filled, Generally people have this in India that they bring something back to the temple. So he had filled whole sugar in the huge bucket and he brought it back to temple. And he came in the early morning time like 7:15, 7 o'clock to give the bucket back. So I was sitting and chanting my rounds in the temple hall. So he came and said to me, I have brought this bucket back, what to do? So I just told him, go and in the kitchen you'll find some devotee, you just give it to them, they will do the needful. And somehow I had a strong intuition कि कुछ तो गड़बड़ होने वाला है when he goes there behind. So he went and then I also went behind him. And then he went to the kitchen office and there was one of the kitchen employees, who was sitting in a chair like this with a foot on the table and bead bag hanging out like that, fully asleep, maybe even drooling, I don't know. And he was doing that type of a japa. And this person who went, I could see, from behind his reaction, he was frozen. He was holding that bucket in hand and he was looking at this devotee like that. And I said, oh no, this is too much. I went, I picked up the bucket. I said, I'm sorry. I just thought that I should help you out directly. And then I took the bucket and told him, please come with me. And I took him, then I, just completely, I took him into the kitchen. I showed him the cleanliness of our kitchen and how the things are well cut and well managed and well cooked and this and that. And I kind of took a whole detour there to get his thoughts away from that whole experience that he had. And later on I was thinking, Krishna, what a mess. You can imagine the day before I had given a bombastic class on holy name, how important is holy name, how one should chant Krishna's holy name. And I don't know. And here he comes in the temple and he sees this, Oh no. So every single interaction with a devotee is either attracting or repelling people from Krishna. 24 hours a day. One time Radha Gopinath Prabhu had conjunctivitis. He was traveling with Bhakti Rasamrut Swami in Bombay local train. And because he had conjunctivitis, he was wearing a very black type of a goggle, on his. So everybody in the train was wondering, these two sadhus in saffron are going, and one sadhu has got a very nice goggle. So what Bhakti Rasamrut Maharaj would do is every time a station comes, people get in, he would tell him to remove that conjunctivitis. So, you have some problem, Prabhu? He would loudly ask, and then he has to repeat, yes, I have got some conjunctivitis, that's why I'm putting this goggle. And then he would put the goggle and the journey would continue. Then this set of people would get down at the next station, another set would get in. Same question. So, you have any problem, Prabhu, with your eyes? Take out, show your conjunctivitis to the whole audience, put it back. And he did that on all the 8-10 sessions. That happened. Radha Gopinath was telling, I never could imagine somebody could be so cautious about our public appearance. And what image are they forming out of, ourselves. Today morning also I was sitting with my laptop in the temple hall and one fellow came. Instead of taking darshan of the deities, you are looking at my laptop, like that. I said, oh no, because I brought it thinking that, I would consolidate my learning from the Bhagavatam class with all the quotes and everything else, put together very nice. And then I decided, very bad. Because they are going to think what? One time I was going in IIT Kharagpur. Kharagpur is quite a village, otherwise, except that IIT is there. And myself and one, I think Dauji Nitya only. We are going on a Splendor. And then there are two villagers there doing some work in the field. We looked at that like that. He didn't say anything. Sadhu on Splendor. That's what he meant. After that, I never sat on that Splendor. I said, मैं पीछे बैठूंगा, चलाऊंगा नहीं कभी. किसी पैंट शर्ट वाले को दो चलाने के लिए. So these are like small things, but they make a big impression. When it comes to relationships, small things are big things. So 24 hours a day. Please read ahead.
Let's be aware of what we do from an observer's point of view and assure our actions encourage respect for Srila Prabhupada and his society. Does the outside of our temple building attract people to come in or to go away?
Hare Krishna.
Does the entrance demonstrate that we are clean, attentive and godly people or something else? Do our brooches and other postings say we have something to offer you or we need your money? Do our restrooms affirm we are clean and care about people's health, or do we always respect Srila Prabhupada properly when in public? Are we trained to be first always polite, second always dressed neatly and properly, third always honest and humble with others? Do our phone manners welcome people, or do we discourage them from inquiring further? Are our guests always treated respectfully, made to feel welcome and encouraged to come again? Do our lectures encourage people to add Krishna to their lives? Or 3 attractive steps for lead?
Wait. Do our lecturers encourage people to add Krishna to their lives? Sometimes you go and hear some Bhagavatam classes, the lecturer is speaking on Ayurveda, Kapha Vata Pitta, how to balance, and you wonder, ये कौन सा class चल रहा है? Did I come in the wrong place? So, add Krishna to your life. We are having a simple message to give. Sometimes we are disturbed with some management meeting that has happened and we are walking outside and some newcomer comes. They said, Swamiji, Hare Krishna. What Hare Krishna? We need to be careful, sensitive. We have to sort out our own clutter. But when we are especially dealing with others, we have to deal sensitively. 3 proactive steps for leaders or managers. What are the things you can do after going back? Number 1, assess. assess your key audiences, build one win-win relationship with them, especially the most important ones. तो ये सब पहले वाले जो चीज़ दिए हैं वो तो करो ही आप. आपका टेम्पल बाहर से कैसे दिखता है, टॉयलेट्स बाथरूम कितने साफ रहते हैं, फोन मैनर्स कैसे हैं आपके रिसेप्शनिस्ट के. सेकंड, train devotees to be aware of the need of always communicating favorably. Typical example, life members come to ISKCON temples and they think they own it because they have paid some 15,000 or whatever, and then they come and ask, so रहने के लिए मिलेगा क्या, आने के लिए मिलेगा क्या? And then we are busy running around in our own services. Sometimes we don't even respond to them properly, you don't even look at them. And these are the very same people who later on speak ill about ISKCON. वैसे पैसे मांगने के लिए आए तो बहुत रिस्पेक्टफुल थे. Now we have become life member तो पूरा they treat us like garbage. So sometimes we may not have rooms to offer them, we may not really have the facility, but still we should at least pause, hear the concern, guide them to the right person, at least that much. And if not, we can tell them, to stay here you need a booking 1 month in advance, and this is the number and the person to be contacted, and please do the need. Otherwise, it is said, if any interaction a person has with your organization and gets a negative experience, he will go and tell it to 11 people. That's statistics. And if he had a positive experience with you, he will tell it to 2 people. Interesting. So train devotees to be aware of needs of communicating favorably with people. Third one, develop a local, what is it, IC, ISKCON communications specialist or director, and provide training for him or her to promote your temple. So appoint a devotee who learns these things and trains others also. Communications in charge. So we end there for the day. If you have any comments or questions. Question.
Like once I was traveling with a bike, and on the road one old person came and he stopped and he told that you are behaving like a sadhu, but you have not given up your attachment for this bike. So you will become a sadhu when you will give up all these things in a rude manner. So what should be our proper the communication?
As far as in India these things are concerned, they are sensitive. In Western culture, no, people don't understand what this dress and sadhu and all that stuff. So even there we have to be careful. But especially when somebody accuses you of something like this, then we may have to give them a sweet, clarifying explanation without getting into arguments. The first thing to say to such a person, I am so thankful to you that you are such a dharmic person, having such subtle understanding of dharma, and you are taking out your time to tell me as a sadhu how should I live. But I must inform you that this bike is not my bike. Our temple has many outreach activities, and whatever our temple provides us for our service, that we use. So if the temple provides me a bullock cart, I'll go in bullock cart. If the temple provides me a bike, I'll go on bike. If they give me a train ticket, I'll go by train. And if they give me nothing, I'll walk. So at least this much honesty I have, which I must tell you, that this is how I live my life in the ashram. But because you are so, aware of sadhu culture, I would really request you to please come to our temple. And maybe, I can arrange few of my friends, 2-3 of us, we get to hear from you as to what all cultural engineering we need to do in such a way that we follow our sadhu dharma and yet also we live in modernity, relevant to the outside world, preaching our message. So please, you are welcome. And thank you for giving this correction and giving some prasadam. It's called killing with love. So we have to figure out how to this communication has to happen. Sometimes we quickly take an offense, or we really feel, कि अरे बुढ़ा खूसट कहीं का, अपना अपना काम कर, So we should be very careful. Our internal attitudes, are more important in provoking situations than even what others have accused us of. Yes.
What would be your advice when you're traveling in train? Sometimes we have 1.5 days, and sometimes laptops and mobiles come out.
Yeah.
So-
Usually I always sit on the top berth, and I keep my laptop flat on the berth so that nobody can see what I'm reading. And I usually don't display it too much around that I have such a gadget. Okay. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Empowerment and delegation ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.